Hi, this is Heather Manzano from Manzano Consulting. I'm here today with my friend and mentor Paul Martinelli, who's president of the John Maxwell team, and we want to talk to you today about something that is, I think, one of the most important things in our personal growth, and that's our self-talk, how we talk to ourselves. And Paul, I remember hearing you one time recommend a book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter, and I got that book and was just really transformed with how simple a concept it is, but how important it is. Could you talk to us just for a minute about kind of our self-talk?
Yeah, you think about it. I mean, we talk to ourselves all the time, right? I mean, we talk to ourselves, and I don't think that that's shocking to people. But what is shocking is imagine if you could get a transcription of some of the things you say to yourself. I know before I developed a level of awareness to pay attention to what I was saying to myself, if I were to read the transcript of some of the things I would say to myself, if somebody else, said those things to me, I'd wallop them. Right. I mean, some of the things I would say to myself were just not kind. They weren't gracious. They weren't gentle. I was, people. I think all of us are familiar with the term of being our own worst critic. And there is a time. There is a time for us to be our own worst critic. There is a time for us to kind of, look at our performance and be willing to be sharp on ourselves, right? But there's a line where you cross, and I think this is it, Heather. I think when you go from awareness to judgment, you've crossed the line. When you go from awareness to judgment, it's okay for me to be aware of my behavior at a given moment in time where I wish I could get that do-over button wherever it is, right? But to then unpack that and beat myself up over it and carry that and then label myself. And so, a strategy that I have found is that I am not my behavior. That if I can separate my being from my behavior, if I could take a piece of paper and a pencil and I could write out whatever that judgment was, what it affords me to do is to see it separate from myself. I enter into this process, and I know that you mentor people through this process of observational thinking, where they can, objectively look at that behavior as separate from themselves. I think if you do that, you change the dialogue in your head in a pretty big way.
I remember you, thank you for that, and I remember you telling me one time that the words that we use when we do that are important. So in other words, if you drop something, it's not, oh, I'm so clumsy. It's, I did something clumsy, not I am. And that idea of separating the being from the behavior was a huge awareness for me. And I do find myself now when something happens, I did that. I'm not that.
That's right. Big difference, isn't it?
A big difference. And so we're not identifying our being with that. So I think our challenge for you this week would be to watch that inner dialogue. Another thing that I'm thinking of right now is just when you say something, pretend that you're saying that to your best friend or somebody that is of high importance to you, and would you be saying that to them? So that would be the challenge. Make sure that you're not saying anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to somebody that you highly respect or care about, and that when you're choosing your words, it's not the being, it's the behavior.
Be your own best friend.
That's right. Be your own best friend. Thank you for being with us this week.